Hi everyone, we're going to talk all things coffee enemas today, and we are going to talk about how to prepare the coffee enema, how to perform the coffee enema. I'm going to show you all of my kit and materials and tools. Starting with coffee, you want to make sure you're using mold-free organic coffee. One of our favorites is Purity Coffee. This is available on our store. This one is Protect, a medium roast organic coffee consciously crafted for liver vitality, and coffee enemas happen to be great for our liver. So this is what I'm going to use today. I'm also going to use a stainless steel French press. You can do it in a non-toxic pot or pan on the stove too. I can talk a little bit about what that procedure is, but I'm going to use my stainless steel French press. I think it's much easier. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm starting with 2 cups of distilled water. I have a water distiller, a countertop water distiller. If you don't have a water distiller at home, it is crucial that you go to the store and buy jugs of distilled water. So I have put 2 cups of distilled water into my teapot, and I'm going to bring that to a boil. Now, I am at the point where I use 4 cups of water in my enema. I started at 3 cups, and in the very beginning, it's okay if you even only do 2 cups or a cup and a half. You can start slow. But the reason I only boil 2 cups of water is because I add the 4 tablespoons of coffee to the 2 cups of boiling water in my French press, and then I add 2 cups of room temperature distilled water to the solution. That cools it down quick, so I can do it right away and I don't have to wait for the coffee to cool. Okay, so I have ground my beans, my mold-free coffee beans. The kind of coffee you choose matters. You can't just go buy some Folgers off the shelf. You want it to be organic and screened for mold. We work so hard at getting these toxins out of our body, we don't want to be putting them back in. So I've put my coffee in my stainless steel French press, and then I'm going to I put 4 tablespoons of coffee, but only 2 cups of boiling water because I want to cool this down quickly. So I'm going to add 2 cups of room temperature water in a minute. So there we go. You do want it to let it to kind of sit and percolate in the French press for a little bit. Ideally, I should probably do like 20 minutes. I'm probably just going to let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes. So before I actually push it down, I'm just going to let this sit and chill for a little bit, and I'm going to go get everything else ready. Okay, so while the coffee is kind of sitting and percolating a little bit in my French press, I'm going to get everything else ready. So here is my enema bucket. I have my stainless steel enema bucket. This is from Aussie. I've had it for a couple years. I replace the tubing often. I just got replacement tubing. Maria just did get a glass enema bucket, which I'm kind of eyeing myself, but this one's been working great for a few years. So put it all together. I add all the attachments onto the tubing at the end. You want to make sure this clamp is closed before you put any liquid in it. I've made that mistake a few times, and then coffee has ended up all over the place. So I'm just putting the bucket here. I have my 2 cups of distilled water that are room temperature. So that when I put the boiling coffee in that I'm making in the other room, this is going to cool down really fast and I can just do it right away. I'm not going to have to wait. So stay tuned for next steps. Okay, so this next part is a little next level, and this is for advanced coffee enema practitioners. But I have been working really hard on my liver and gallbladder, my gallbladder especially. So I put these 2 supplements, I've been putting these 2 supplements in my enema. This is Advanced Tudka, which is a bile salt that really helps your bile flow in between your liver and gallbladder easily, digest fats, transport toxins out of the body. This is Bodyguard Supreme by Supreme Nutrition. It's Chancapiedra, which again is really good for breaking up gallstones. So I'm going to put 1 of each of these in there. I always like to put a binder in my enema. My favorite is carboxy to help draw out some more toxins. And we are coming off a full moon this week, so I'm going to do a little para 3 in there as well. So this is not to be tried until you've at least gotten the coffee enema down, but there are other products you can put in the enema to enhance its effectiveness. Okay, this is cooled down a little bit, and I, press the top down. So I'm going to add in my actual coffee. So again, this is 2 cups of the coffee solution with the 4 tablespoons of coffee added to 2 cups of lukewarm distilled water. That way this is like ready to go now. I don't have to wait at all for it to cool, or there's no guesswork involved in is it ready yet. One way to tell, obviously make sure you have clean hands, but if you take your pinky finger and put it in the solution, you should be able to comfortably hold it in there for 10 seconds. And if you can't, if you have to take your pinky out, then it's too hot and you don't want to put it in your body. It's a very much Goldilocks temperature that you need. You don't want it to be too hot, clearly, because that could burn you, but you also don't want it to be too cool, because that's kind of like a shock to your system. So it has to be just right. So I'm going to go ahead and add in my Tedka. Just open up the capsule, empty it in there. I'm going to add my Bodyguard in there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of my little extras in there. Again, not to be tried until you have just even got used to doing a coffee enema. Even the first time you do it, you could even just do a 2-cup water enema just to see how it goes. So I almost forgot a really important piece. So sometimes in the beginning, and even sometimes now, I've been doing enemas for a couple years now, I have a really hard time holding it or retaining it. One trick that I found is to add some high quality salt. So I'm just gonna put a tablespoon of salt in there. I today am using this Premier Pink Salt from Premier Research Labs, which I love. I'm also a huge fan of Celtic sea salt, so sometimes I'll do that, but I ran out of that. So now that I have everything in there, I'm just giving it, sorry it's very loud, I'm giving it a really good stir, especially with the carboxy because it can clump up a little bit. Okay. So that is ready and good to go. So now I am hanging it up here on my hook. So it's at like a slight tilt, and I'm gonna let that solution start to drain. Again, remember to close that clamp. I'm also going to put a little, this is like a little olive oil blend that I will put on the edge of the tip. Obviously I'm not gonna demonstrate for you guys how to do it, but I will just talk a little bit about, the process. So I have a towel on the floor. I usually just set up in our guest room, bathroom. So you want to lay down, and I start on my left side because your left side is where, sorry, I got cut off there. I'm a YouTube rookie. Okay, so the salt. Another thing you can use, what I used to use until I discovered that the salt works just as well, is organic blackstrap molasses. That can also help you retain. So I just used the salt for today, but and like I said, I think that works just as well. I'm gonna lay on my left side, like I was saying, that's where your sigmoid colon is, so it can kind of like enter your colon easily. Once all the solution is in, so you're gonna go slowly. So you wanna make sure there's no like air pockets in the tube. That's why you keep it high, you keep it at a tilt, and you use the clamp. So you can let the solution in slowly. You're just not gonna like open up the clamp and let it all go in at once. You open the clamp, then you can close it, open it, close it, open it. So it'll take you a little while to get all of the solution in. So once all the solution is in, I then move over to my right side. That's where your liver and gallbladder is. So that's just the way I do it. You can lie on your back if you want to, like however is comfortable. If you need to massage your area, your liver gallbladder area, you can, or even your abdomen. Sometimes I even put my red light panel on my liver to get like an extra little kick to my liver. So you just, and once all the solution is in, try to make it for 12 to 20 minutes if you can. Okay, all done. So I've cleaned up. Coffee enemas honestly have endless benefits. So they are really good to help keep your liver and your gallbladder happy. Yes, it can clean out your colon. It can help with constipation, which is the natural peristalsis of your colon. So if constipation is something you've struggled with, incorporating regular coffee enemas into your routine can really help. It can help with headaches. A lot of headaches have to do with liver stagnation. So honestly, since I've started doing them, it's helped to balance my hormones. My cramps aren't nearly as bad because we get rid of excess estrogen through the liver. If our liver is clogged up, that excess estrogen is getting recycled throughout the body. So actually coffee enemas can help us quite a bit with our hormones too. So again, the benefits are endless. All three of us do them regularly, and we've felt much better in our health since we've started. So this is a fairly new YouTube channel. We are going to start to give lots of tutorials and tips and tricks on how to effectively detox your body of pathogens, toxins. So like and subscribe, and go get your coffee enema materials.